the shotgun approach needed to add the nuance of like, look and see if they're showing any sort of interest. Because what started happening was like girls would just be on the bus trying to get home from fucking work, and dude would sit down and like, hey, you want to go get lunch later?
I don't know. I've seen those Japanese bus pornos. Hit it.
Hey guys, welcome to the Hype Attack Podcast,
where we weigh in on the latest in nerd and pop culture hype.
We are there.
We're the excited conversation we all have with our friends
about the nerdy things we love
And geek about.
We are
The Hype Attack. I am the hype!
Rudy's in my mind. Stop swallowing.
Join us for the communal yank wank. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Hype Attack Podcast, where we weigh in on the latest in nerd and pop culture, hype and news and stories, and anything that gets us excited and rowdy. I'm Doug with Jermaine, Rudy, and Isaac.
Yeah.
The usual Hype Attack squad. Today's episode, we gather here to talk about season 2 of the Peacemaker. This is the third installment of the DCU. I really wanted to kind of do something special for this. I had like two options.
Okay.
I figured we could have, if we had time, we could have learned like a Stone-Face dance number, right?
Can we include the...
Yeah, we might have to blur that out because apparently it's a dog whistle. But we didn't have time for that. So option 2 is just a coked out orgy. I brought the coke. And
How about the floppy dongs?
all
Let's
right,
go.
here we go.
Oh, you saved it for a rainy day?
Yeah, so that was a joke, obviously, at the first episode.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so before we get into that, what are you guys' thoughts? Quick thoughts, and then we'll get into some details.
This show is definitely James Gunn's baby.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. The end, though, made me feel like this whole season 2 just edged me all the way to the end and then left me blue ball.
Yeah, interrupted orgasm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whose was that? That wasn't mine.
That was
Who
my throat.
interjected?
I think that was my throat. I'm so sorry.
Goodness.
I was right in the mic when that happened.
It's been
Too.
like a
Actually-
season and a half before
Yeah,
something.
that was my throat getting the taste of alcohol. It's like, oh, let me open up here. Sorry, Jermaine.
I was like, damn, I never heard Blue Ball speak before. It pains me.
No, there's a Muppet character we need on the show. In one of the screens, hanging
Next to the hype puppet. It's a hype, and he panned down his blue balls.
or he stands up so his blue balls can speak into the mic. Sorry. Sidetrack.
needs a
We're 6 minutes in. We already went off the rails.
Do they sound like this? I don't know about that one. Do they sound
Someone
like this?
hasn't been visiting
Yeah.
the compod.
All right, Jermaine.
It was
quick
just
thoughts.
a fun series. Like,
Sorry.
I mean, like, I enjoyed it.
I apologize.
It had some twists and turns in there. But like Rudy said, like it was one of those things like where it got to the end, you're just like, not like this.
Yeah.
But
Not like this.
Before we describe like the whole thing,
Spoilers.
have we gotten used to used to having like a big
Yes.
dramatic fight at the end of everything?
Yes,
That when it
yes.
doesn't do it, we're like, oh,
Yeah.
what's that?
Yeah. We'll get to the
Yeah, I was
end,
gonna get
but
to it.
I absolutely agree.
All right.
No, I absolutely agree with that.
I'd ask the question.
Because I was saying the same thing. Like the end was very much wrapping up like the more personal stories for this, and I was thinking the same. Like, like the end is when you're supposed to bring in some big conflict or something like that, and it was kind of there. But I think also in this world of shared universes, everything's a setup. Everything's always going to be a setup for the next thing. Unfortunately, we don't get those next things quick enough where it feels like maybe just don't do that. Like, I still think this is a side rant. And I've said it before. I still think with today's world of streaming, the opportunity to make short films to do these kind of setups, I think is there. I don't know how much interest necessarily. I would love it if they dropped a 30-minute, 45-minute short film to set up a new character or whatever,
Yeah.
but not everyone's going to watch that. But
The perfect ending would have been G.I. Robot just introduced into
the live action.
World X, Earth X.
Oh, yeah.
Not my idea, Screen Crush. Yeah.
That's really interesting because Rick Flag Senior was with Creature Commandos, so obviously he worked with GI Robot. And as soon as they learned about a Nazi world,
But spoiler alert: GI Robot, he got decommissioned.
no, but didn't
Did they bring him back?
The last episode wasn't
remember.
he like rebuilt as like a bigger robot or something? Or am I just imagining things?
I swore
I'm
they brought
AI.
him
I'm just
back.
hallucinating.
I swore it.
Yeah. So anyway, first episode. It was funny. I was talking to my friends this weekend, and I was like, "Hey, you guys watch Peacemaker season 2?" Because they really liked the first one. They're like, "Oh yeah, the season 2." This first episode was like, that was a lot. It was too much. So we haven't gone back into it. And at first I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, it's Peacemaker." Like, what do you mean? And then like 3 days later, I was like, "Oh, the orgy."
Well,
Very graphic.
I think nowadays, with there being so many things to watch, including but not limited to series and movies, and especially something in the comic book world, like it's like every first episode of a season has to be kind of like a pilot where it's reintroducing you to the thing and then grabbing your attention all over again.
Especially this one, because this show specifically had the weird instance of first season was technically DCEU,
Talk
the
about
original stuff, and then the second season was now part of the DCU. So there was that initial retcon where they changed Snyder's Justice League to Gunn's Justice Gang.
Do we need to put it into even more context for anybody who doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about as far as Peacemaker?
Go for it.
So Peacemaker is a DC show that is spun off from James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, which is kind of technically sort of a sequel of David Ayer's Suicide Squad-ish, except it's bigger, better, and fucking funnier, and actually more well done. And Peacemaker, played by John Cena, is this character that's this guy that keeps the peace no matter how many people he has to kill.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a character that James Gunn didn't really think he was gonna spin off into anything else, but like he saw what he can do with it, and it took off running in that first season. It played with some of it. It lived in the Zack Snyder verse, which is a unique thing, and it's such a fun way. It's like, oh, something in the Snyder world can actually be fun, and it was amazing. And
How dare you?
And it was that
Everything's
like
not grim and dark.
it was that like comic
Dark.
book show.
Warhammer?
And then when you bring it on into the second season, which is they had James Gunn retconned a handful of things. Some things were really minor when I researched it. It's real small things, but for the most part, he retconned a handful of things from the first season. So, including but not limited to that end scene with after the fight with the butterflies, which was the Justice League joined late. And this time it's the Justice Gang joining.
Yeah.
And when they did that, I was like, cool.
Gang.
There's no need to like, oh, we went through a different door. This is a parallel universe. It's just, look, it's just different. This is James Gunn world now.
Yeah. Before this started, James Gunn had said like, "Oh, we addressed that." The Justice League scene, and I was thinking the same thing. Like, well, the trailers had already revealed there's going to be parallel universes because they showed the two Peacemakers in the trailer. So I'm like, okay, maybe they're going to do a parallel universe thing or whatever. But I'm glad they just retconned it.
By the way, and if you remember how they retconned it, it wasn't actually like during the show. It was in a previously on.
Yeah, it was just
I was
straight up
like, oh.
previously on.
He did it, and I go, you could do that? That's a possible thing to do? That's cool. There's no need to like slowly ramp it up and settle people in. It's like James Gunn, just in general, for all the things he's doing DC, trusts the audience. And he trusts the comic book audience and knows like, look, this is just what it is. We will deal with it in context. You'll be okay.
How many normies that aren't like tuned in
Freaked
to the
out, I
Instagram like watches like, wasn't it? It was a flash, and there was a joke about fucking fish. Like what happened?
Full on stroke. Like
Yeah.
I had to rewind it. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's cute.
Yeah, and it was fun, like
He
because
came out,
it
it was like, take that. Like, just like,
I think Guy Gardner made something about a puke. He's got a puke thing or something like that, or he says I have a puke thing.
This guy tells this guy I'm a puke freak.
Yeah, and then Hot Girl Isabella Merced like I think genuinely laughed, so I'm assuming that line was improv or something. But
I'm loving it. Like I said before, this feels the most like James Gunn. Him really being able to play in his own sandbox with like minimal restrictions. But that being said, I did watch some of the like post show his podcast he was doing. I didn't watch all of them, but in a general sense, he still appreciated like, oh, there is still a lot of work to create this world, you know, and since he's the one that's responsible for it, it's, you know, you go with it with a passion, but at the same time you're like, there's a million and one decisions and it could fuck up at any corner.
Yeah.
But I personally, I said at the very start when even before like Superman came out, like in Gunn I trust, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a very interesting start though, because we've gotten Creature Commandos, which who knows how many people have actually watched, which you should. And then Superman, which was a very family-friendly, hope-filled, great comic book Superman movie.
And bold and italicized comic book movie.
Yeah, yeah. And then you got Peacemaker season 2, which started off with a very graphic orgy. And so it's interesting. Like you said, James Gunn has to build this world. And so far it's running the gambit. And I think it's cool. I am curious, like next we're getting Supergirl, which is going to be a space adventure with Lobo. A lot of cool action we could see there. I'm curious what story they're going to go with Lobo as far as did he personally wipe out his planet, or did he, I think I read like at one point he like developed some scorpions for like a middle school science project that wiped out his planet or something like that.
As one does.
Either way, Lobo hopefully in his backstory in the DCU killed his whole planet, because that's what makes Lobo the main man. It's going to be played by Jason Momoa, so I'm sure there's going to be a hoo-ah or whatever.
I know. I
Yeah.
have a little Momoa fatigue. I've said
Yeah.
in previous
Yeah.
But I
things.
feel like just how Jason Momoa is like in actual real life, like that's a Lobo right there.
It's true. The drinking and beer and axe
I
throwing.
feel like he like all that extraness that he adds to
Easy Sam.
like that's characteristics of Lobo. So I'm hoping he does it justice. Mainly because I know he was the one who was pushing for this character, because that's like quote unquote I believe like his favorite comic book character. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think the story was like as soon as James Gunn got control, I think Momoa texted him. He was like, "Lobo?" Question mark.
But if who's writing the super? Do you know who's writing Supergirl?
I do not.
Yeah,
That
It-
do
I
not
forget.
but in any case, this is kind of worth repeating. We said it when we were covering Superman, but Gunn is story first, script first, and then characters afterwards.
Pause.
Oh, it's the whole thing.
Fix
Hey, we're gonna have to pause
Fixie.
this.
Yeah, go.
Everybody. And we're back.
So worth repeating, but Gunn said that.
Oh wait, hold on a second before you continue. The writer for
Yeah,
Supergirl,
Supergirl.
I'm gonna butcher this last name. It's Ana Noguera.
Oh, that's right.
Noguera.
Yeah.
No mierda. Something like that.
No mierda.
It is interesting. Again, going into.
I apologize.
Wait, actually,
To
are
the
we getting
entire
Lanterns first?
Community.
I don't know.
I don't know
is
the
a
order.
series.
Lanterns is a series that might be next, or Supergirl might be next. But I guess that makes sense because Supergirl's going to be a space story. Lanterns are obviously very much a space. I think their story is going to be on Earth for that series, but Lanterns, of course, is a space thing. So there is potential to keep building this.
But really quick, just worth repeating from the Superman episode is that Gunn said he will not greenlight something if the script isn't ready. You know, it's not. They're not going to figure it out during production. They're not going to waste time or waste money. In fact, I think even Superman, he was like under budget. Like he's kind of notorious for doing that because he's like, no, let's get it all down on paper. Let's figure it out then. That's why like
Yeah.
Matt Reeves' Batman 2 is taking a minute. And like it's a sort of like, oh, duh moment, you know? So knowing that even if Gunn isn't writing it, knowing that he's reviewing it and going like, yep, no, give you another couple months. Let's circle back to it.
Yeah.
And we're not going to put anything on fucking on screen or, you know, whatever kind of production before that script is actually ready. And
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
super happy about that.
Too much in modern media today, I think in video games and movies and TV shows is, they just get started.
You'll
And
half-cocked.
we'll finish it as it goes, or we'll edit it. And so, yeah, it is nice.
James Gunn going full cocked.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Supergirl is scheduled for June 2026. Lanterns is just early 2026.
Okay.
Beautiful.
So we might get
So we'll
Lanterns
probably get
first.
that
and-
first.
It's right around the
I'd be curious if there's some crossover at all or whatever, but
It's right around the corner.
yeah.
And even if they don't do any kind of crossover, like bringing it all the way back to Peacemaker, there was those like that couple minutes of a crossover and just an establishing that like, yeah, we are in this world. I'm mentioning an event happening and a previous movie or even like a fucking restaurant or something like that. So like this feels like it's living in Gunn's universe.
Yeah, and I think so before this season started, there was all the conversation about canon because of the whole DCEU and DCU, and he basically said if we mention it, it's canon. So like they mentioned Starro, they mentioned Waller. Of course, Waller was in Creature Commando, so like bits of the Suicide Squad are at least canon. Like we don't know who all necessarily was there. We know Rick Flag Jr. was there. And then, of course, Superman. And we had a lot of characters coming straight from Superman over, including later in the series, in the season, we got the cameo that I didn't watch that. I wasn't watching this weekly, so I was doing my best to avoid spoilers.
I binged it all late too, but I had managed to avoid that spoiler. So when he came on, I'm like,
Yeah.
hold on. I was like,
Oh, and I meant to write down the quote because so what we're talking about is later in the series, whatever, we'll skip around. Lex Luthor showed up. So it was a great cameo and it was great, again, establishing like, yeah, this is that same, despite everything we've seen on this is the same role as that Superman movie you just watched. But even Luthor was very much like, what did he say? Like, I have to spend my nights in a cell listening to a bear-sized man with scales fuck a something with glowy eyes or something. Oh. I meant to write it down. But it's like, yeah, very much like, yeah, that nice family Superman movie you just watched. Yeah, this is Luthor talking about.
I think that is also fun. Is like those I guess those PG characters coming into this world and dropping an F-bomb or whatnot.
Yeah,
that's fun.
But yeah, so I think just before I watched that episode, I saw something about Luthor and I was like, fuck, because I'd already seen spoilers about a cameo or like a surprise. I was like, there it is, and then the other big reveal that we got midway through, which maybe we'll wait on that. I will ask a question before we get into more details about it.
Yeah.
Did you guys feel that this season was a bit of misery porn?
Yes, I do want to get into that a little bit.
It felt almost too much.
So I think that it felt like quote unquote too much in comparison to what we weren't getting, which was somebody said that like the first season or other things were like a full-on comic book series and full action and everything like that. I want to give a lot of credit to Gunn on this one, where it is extremely character driven. Everyone's character goes. They're not just dealing with the plot. They're actually dealing with the story. They're dealing with them growing. They're all completely different people through growth from who they were from the first season.
Yep.
And in ways that, like, if you're just focusing on any one character, everyone is selfish. Everyone has an altered perspective on everything going on. And the way that that's explored throughout the entirety of the 8 episodes is like, again, it's very signature Gunn. You know, it's like you want that character growth. You don't want like an MCU level thing where it's the same fucking person and the same kind of tone throughout all movies and stuff like that. And nobody fucking grows. Nobody learns a lesson.
Yeah. I would also say like this is a good example of like how to make a shared universe show, because even though it wasn't like the necessarily big action packed comic book detective figuring out the problem, fight the conflict or whatever, the fact that we know that it's in the DCU and they've established it, and so it's very much this is a comic book story because we know it's in the DCU. They mention these characters and they mention, and he's still in a costume sometimes. Like we know it's there, but like this is what comic books can do, and we've talked about this on the show where like some of the better comic books are stories that aren't necessarily the big actiony in-worlding stuff, but who would necessarily want to put that in a movie, right? Like they've done Superman stories where he gives up flying or whatever, and he walks across the country to like actually see the real world. Like that's not a movie, but like taking these kind of more side characters and doing a character-driven story in a series, I think it works. I think it was cool, but I do feel like because we got to like Peacemaker so much in the first season, and John Cena is an amazing actor, and you can't help but kind of like him. To just get this whole season of him the world just fucking shitting on him.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's also kind of too dumb to realize like why maybe things are happening.
But that's his character.
No, that's his character. That's
Yeah,
exactly
that's
that's his
fucking-
character. So it's like,
He's an expert at every single weapon, but he can't like
yeah,
figure his shit out. I love when he traveled to like the other dimension, and he's so like amazed and like kind of loving that dimension because he's like, I could possibly start over here.
yeah. Which someone like him, especially like the fact that he did kind of get a chance to start over at like surviving Suicide Squad and then all that.
Oh yeah, and like everybody loved him in that alternate dimension, but his desire for like acceptance blinded him.
yeah.
Blinded him to the reality of this world has been taken over, or this world is ruled by.
The alternate history.
Yeah, so we can get into
Make
that.
so many
Yes.
jokes, like,
We can get into that. And I love how quickly Amelia Harcourt figured it out.
Yeah, she was in there. She was like, "Did you not see?"
The giant mural on the
like
wall.
the-
Fuck, how did I miss that?
Yeah, the Mein Kampf. So what we're talking
Kampf.
about, unless someone else wants to deliver this surprise.
Oh, wait, before we get to the surprise, do you want the full quote from Lex
Oh yeah, let's hear it. Let's
All
hear
right,
it.
it's-
I'm laughing at all the jokes in my head that I can't say.
is, meanwhile, I'm here in Belle Reve listening to a bear-sized man with dragon skin, butt fucking a glowing twink with cartoon eyes in the cell beside me every night.
Love it. Yeah.
Lucky.
So that you.
So
Okay.
if you have,
Lucky.
if
Play
you
it
have
back,
no
play it
interest,
back at half speed. A little KY. It's a good time.
if you have no interest in watching Peacemaker, but you want to see Nicholas Holt as Lex Luthor deliver that line, look up whatever episode that is. 6 or something, 5, I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So the big reveal, this perfect world that Peacemaker was going to, and looking for escapism, ended up being what in the comic books they call Earth X. I don't know if the show ever called it Earth X,
No,
but
he calls
it
it Earth
is
too.
an alternate universe or alternate history where the Nazis won World War II and America is ran by Nazis. And so, as I was saying, Amelia Harcourt figured out very quickly there was no people of color looking around, pointing things out.
James Gunn did a really good job of actually hiding all the clues to that, other than like the beginning dance sequence
Oh,
is
yeah.
like, here's the whole season, but you got to piece it together, and like the fucking that Fortnite had to pull down so
Fortnite
fast.
had to pull it out, yeah.
Once that episode came out, it was hilarious.
See, I saw that shit before I had watched the thing, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So that part I was like, oh fuck, I already know where that's going.
Yeah.
But luckily everything else remained not
but
spoiled.
obviously, in the world of storytelling, his perfect world was gonna have to have something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was Twilight
gonna,
Zone.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna be that like. Originally, I was trying to figure out in my head, kind of like before everything started, and especially after the first episode, because I didn't dive too much into the trailers or anything. I was like, let me just go in and watch, and I was like, oh, alternate dimension. I was like, oh, is this how he's gonna, change
Right.
from one timeline to this is now the what is it, the DCU?
DCU.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
as opposed to
DCU. I was
DCEU.
like, oh, so he's just gonna hop dimensions possibly, so it was one of those things. I was like, let me see where it goes, but it was pretty interesting.
What
Like, it
what was
a
the
good time.
reaction then after you're like, oh, that's not going to happen. It's
Yeah,
not going to be the
yeah.
obvious.
It's not
multiverse
Yeah, like
thing.
it's not that. So I was just in for the ride. Like I'm one of those that's like I have my theory, but if it doesn't pan out, I'm like, okay, let me see what you're going to do. And then when he had like that Justice League, the Justice Gang scene, I was like, oh, we're just gonna dive right into
Yeah.
it. Like this is just here now. I was like,
Hold
okay.
on to your fucking helmets.
But man, but with the character driven stuff, it's like besides Peacemaker, like everybody was going through like their own like woes and like reality checks and all that kind of stuff. Like it was just interesting to see all these characters go through like their ups and downs. Like you had like the first season, where it had, some epic scenes and some nice fights, but it was just characters kind of like going through like their feels and trying to figure out like where they're gonna go, and then you have like surprise characters, like, which I didn't think they were gonna do too much, but like Eagly, like just his little random like story and
He's
like
Prime Eagle.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, like he's the chosen one.
That shit was like a stand up. Like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. When that fool like popped up, was like glowing with the blue flames. I'm like,
Loved it.
Oh, you thought, but there was some more of it.
And what's his name? Who played the Eagle Hunter?
Oh, Michael Rooker.
Yeah.
Who James Gunn just
Dear
enjoys
Lord.
killing in everything he does. And then they asked him like, what was his favorite way to kill Rooker? And he talked, Guardians of the Galaxy was a sad, tragic thing, but he said this was pretty fun, getting ripped apart by eagles.
Right.
Mr. Cultural Appropriation.
Holy shit.
I will say, to your point, like all these characters had their own stories, and there was a lot of characters, and I don't know if there was any story that they cut to that I like kind of pulled up my phone or something, right? Like because
that you were
sometimes
like,
you're
womp
big,
womp.
yeah. Sometimes you're big ensemble cast stories. Like there's always that one story, like, oh god, here we go. The lovers are whispering in the corner for 15 minutes. They didn't really have much of that. Like so it was cool, like to have all those little stories going on. And fucking Vigilante, what a fun
He
character.
was my favorite.
Holy shit.
He just wanted to meet himself. He was like,
No fucking way.
right.
Spider-Man me.
Oh yeah, there we go. We established that the Marvel universe exists in DCU also.
That-
Which the Marvel universe, MCU has
doing the same
established
thing.
that the DC universe exists in their world. So
They did in Eternals where they're like, "Are you Superman?"
yeah.
And so, real quick, like I said it before, where the characters were very self-absorbed. Like, yeah, they were the 11th Street kids, but at the same time, they like their motives were selfish, and you got to really push them to do what they needed to do. Obviously, once they got to that point, like it was awesome. And like what's her name, who plays Adebayo, she's gonna win a fucking Emmy for this. Danielle Brooks, her acting is just fucking perfect when she's giving that pep talk to Peacemaker in the 7th episode. But like the characterized person, Tim Meadows playing Langston Fleury. He's like, I really don't appreciate you making fun of my bird blindness. It's the fucking funniest thing. Him, like
came
he was
out
a
of
fucking
nowhere.
golden addition
holy
to the
shit!
cast.
I love Tim Meadows in anything he's in. Like, seriously, go through all the stuff and just watch and enjoy.
Yeah.
But like his dry sense of humor, like his addition to that was like, they really have Tim Meadows in here. What is he gonna do? And he is,
The fucking nicknames.
that shit
hey,
was
Cupid,
nuts.
Cupid doll.
Ginger Cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Stop fucking
Economos.
calling me that.
Or when Peacemaker calls him Shaft, he's like, I take that as a compliment, and I really appreciate and respect you, or whatever.
Yeah. All the characters. Adebayo, her character is so cool. And yeah, the acting was amazing. Her character's awesome. And like, not to get too fucking woke or whatever, but like absolutely not like the kind of character you would see as being cool in a superhero story. And she's awesome. She's a badass.
Black and lesbian, and I love her, and she's awesome, and she's like the fucking, like second protagonist of this goddamn thing, and it's awesome.
And kind of the one that's like keeping everyone somewhat sane a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, easily, as well as going
She
through
has
her
to
own
be
shit.
cool because she's the daughter,
Yeah,
Of Waller. That's right. Yeah.
But, and that's what I'm saying. Like everyone's, all of their issues, especially Peacemaker, everything is like grounded in reality. Gunn even said that he wrote Peacemaker after his own father, and in his podcast, he cried about it. And it goes to show you that like, as far as like a writer writing something, write what you know. And Gunn having the balls to put that into a clown costume that is Peacemaker is really ballsy, and it's bold, and when you see John Cena fantastically portraying this like what should be a fucking absurd character, and he's dealing with stuff that is like father abandonment and like a sibling
of killing
death,
his brother.
yeah,
Killing himself from another
Jesus
universe.
Christ. I mean, that's a fucking a metaphor for something.
But he got a sweet new helmet out of it.
But like it came through in that story through John Cena, and John Cena's performance, by the way, like throughout the entirety of the whole thing was it got better and better and better.
Yeah.
And in that pinnacle scene, again, heavy spoilers, this whole fucking thing. But when his brother, like, he thinks his brother's dead again after his fucking dad got killed again, and that, like, burst out moment of crying and yelling and shit, and like, oh my god, like it ceased to be this like comic book series. I don't know, he said like it was sort of, what did you call it, misery porn or whatever, but it wasn't doing it in this like Ben Stiller kind of way where you're like, oh dear god, what else bad thing is going to happen, they are cursed. But it was it actually had a place to go, and they grew from it. But as miserable as it was, but like it was grounded in that sort of reality, if you will. It's fantastic. I fucking enjoy the show, man. Goddamn. Take it. Sorry. I have no like landing for that, as I usually don't.
So you brought up like towards the end, obviously they have to, or they go into the Earth X to rescue Peacemaker. They figure out that it's Earth X. They figure out it's Nazis. Adebayo has that moment with Judo Master where obviously those two hated each other. They probably, I'm assuming Judo Master ran into the same kind of crowd of having to run from the Nazis, like she had to run from everyone. Like, oh, a black, they got out, or one got out. Yeah,
I was like, huh?
I don't think he did. I think he said he found the house, and then he was reading the history books and found that out, and then they played Scrabble.
So either way, he read everything and then realized like, okay, he's got to go and like save her. Like he probably recognized again. He probably on our Earth or the Earth that they come from, he understands discrimination and all that kind of stuff too. So that was really cool.
And he got a chance to kill people in the pool, electrified.
That was the most amount of people I've electrocuted in a pool before.
How many did you kill before? 4.
Yeah.
Isaac, real quick, can you look up the name of the actor who plays Judo Master and give me a spell check on his name? Sorry, to continue.
That's fine.
Oh, you don't have your laptop?
So
It's Netley.
Oh, okay. So that's how you really say it?
N-H-U-T-L-E.
okay.
I didn't want to say it and be like obviously stupid about it. I needed a second opinion. Sorry.
So all of this culminates in them getting to Earth X Peacemaker's house, and the dad and the brother are there, and and the assumption is like, okay, these guys are also Nazis, and the brother obviously, he was chasing Adebayo also, but that moment right before, like when the dad said, "I'm not a Nazi," like I'm fighting the monsters that are in front of me, like, and it was like, wow, and then Vigilante comes in and stabs him in the neck like 6 times.
Yeah.
The most brutal fucking whole scene.
Did anyone else be like, oh shit?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, he's not stopping.
And then so they kill him brutally, and then eventually they kill
he's
the
already
brother.
dead.
And same thing with the brother. They're holding him down, and he's getting gutted.
My God.
Like
That was
and
brutal.
while John Cena is like up against the wall, or not John Cena, Peacemaker is up against the wall, like watching this. And it was just
Frozen,
such a
like he couldn't
brutal.
do anything at that moment.
It was such a brutal killing, which makes sense. This guy's in like some sort of power suit, and these guys are generally all just regular people. But what, like, so realistic, so grounded, because it's like, yeah, this is how, like, I know we're used to really flare orientated fights in these kind of superhero movies. That's how it would go down. Like piling on someone and like stabbing their gut 4 times, or
Dear
like
Lord.
I was
take
like, man, this
Vigilante.
is like prison shank style.
Yeah, Vigilante taking the opportunity, like sneak attack on Peacemaker's dad, and just stabbing in the neck 5, like so brutal and so hardcore. So there was those big climactic fight scenes that like we wanted, but just not, I think, in the way we're used to. And then it was very smart of Hardcore to like realize like, I can't have you chasing after him.
Yeah.
But she wasn't able to get the kill. Which who knows where that will lead. It might not lead anywhere. Again, it's not like we're getting these kind of stories every month or whatever. So
Am I to understand that there is not going to be a 3rd season of Peacemaker?
there's not. No, this is it.
Yeah. But the rumor mill is like, but it could just be called something else. It could be called
Checkmate. Yeah, no, I think they've already pretty much established they're going to do a Checkmate series. So if we want to get to the ending, the last episode, as we talked about, was not some big climactic fight scene. We finally got to see the boat incident that Peacemaker and Harcourt had talked about the whole season, which again was one of those like it reminds you. So, sorry, similar to the Penguin. I don't know if you guys all remember watching the Penguin, where the Penguin constantly like made you want to cheer for this guy, but then it had to remind you how much of a shithead or a shitty evil person the Penguin actually was. I feel like Peacemaker was kind of the same way, where it was like you want to root for this guy, like you like him, he's a good guy, but then like it kind of reminds you, it's like he's also doing all this shit and like literally throwing everything away and pissing everyone off because like he just wants an answer from Harcourt, which I get it, he loves her, blah blah blah. But then even at the end, when she finally admits that the boat meant something and he goes back in the room and does like his big happy dance, it really was just like, do you see all the shit you caused and everything that everybody went through to bring you back? And none of that really mattered until Harcourt just said, yeah, the kiss on the boat meant something. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm the loser that's never been in love, so.
Can we all relate? It's just that one thing, that one acknowledgement of affection.
Yes. Back in my 20s, I was a dick.
I mean,
so
I feel
I would have, yeah,
like when you had that
burned the world
girl
down
that was like, yeah,
for a yes or a no.
me too. You were like the cartoon shit where you just
Yeah.
float in the air like
Disarming the nuke. Oh, okay. That's what it felt like. I mean, like he was ready to watch like 2 worlds burn. Okay, all right. I guess fuck me, right? I guess I'm wrong. It just bugged me a little bit, but it didn't bug me because also, like I said, it kind of was that reminder that no matter how much we want to cheer for this guy and how like he still ultimately is a little selfish, a little like he's that self-absorbed peacemaker that we've known. He's grown a lot.
And the show does a really good job of doing that, whether it be with flashbacks or just him, fucking up time and time again because he is self-destructive, which is sourced in, his foundation of growing up of like, you can't trust anybody. So you're looking for that little serotonin boost in whatever fucking form it may be.
And his girl is self-destructive.
Yeah.
Because her going to like the bar.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
Knowingly what she was going to do. She went in there, took like one sip of her drink and somebody whistled at her and she was like, huh?
Game on.
What the fuck did you say, freckle face? My mom said I should be proud of my freckles.
I think at one point, whether it was a flashback or not, but at one point, like she showed up with wounds and it was like, "You okay?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I loved it because there was no explanation, but we knew. Like she obviously she went and got in a fight somewhere. Like that's what she did. That's what she does.
I do love the altercation when she was in the store where that one girl came up to her and was like,
"Oh man,
if you need any help or like it's just
I'm not your fucking mirror."
I was like, ouch.
Brutal. Ouch.
Ouch.
Like there was emotional abuse, but it was like her self-inflicted emotional abuse.
Self-inflicted. And it's the thing, like I know Peacemaker, like, yes, he wanted that acknowledgement from her and he was trying to do everything, anything, even going to a alternate dimension to be with alternate version of her. But it's one of those things too where
Icky.
I feel like a character like him and like her, the fact that they're so broken and like he's had like a traumatic past, like with him killing his brother, granted, even though it was his dad who put them up to it, and then him having to shoot his dad, like it's just one of those things. Like I feel like Isaac said, like he's like he's yearning for that like fix, but it's like he wants like that one good thing, like he wants to have one good thing in his life, regardless of what he has to do to get it.
Well, the fascinating,
I can understand that.
The fascinating part is that both Peacemaker and Harcourt are very self-destructive, but yet he brings out he managed to like calm her, shorten her fuse or whatever the fuck.
Lengthen.
Huh?
Lengthen her fuse.
Lengthen fuse, excuse me. And then she like makes him
Check out.
Checks out.
but she makes him like a better man for it. But when the difference though is like when they're not together, they go into full destruction.
Oh yeah, like they're like a ticking time bomb when they're not together. And even that scene where
orgy.
the boy
Was she
style
in that?
orgy though. But the scene towards the end where they were walking together and that one dude walked up to her or bumped into her, and Peacemaker stepped in, and she's like,
Freckles.
I'm not like that damsel who, who's in the stress, but he has to like,
He knew.
he knows, but he's telling her, I'm not saving you from him. I'm saving him from you. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Because you're gonna beat his ass.
She got a masculinity problem.
I like the way he played it too during that scene where they're doing the flashback in the Big Valley Burger, where he's like charming and sweet. And all these other things, but like when he's not with her, like he's just a total asshole. Like I love that
I can relate, by the way.
that way he played that. I don't know.
No, I mean, like, when you find
Are
your
you an
wife-
asshole when you're not around? me?
Absolutely. I am a destructive dirtbag.
Like your shirt. I have issues.
I think Gunn said he's like, I kind of wanted maybe sneaking Deadpool in one of the doors.
Yeah, he talked to Ryan Reynolds about it, but he realized that it would be a lot of hoops. Disney would be like, monies?
I can has monies.
I can have
I
monies.
has much monies, but I like s'mores.
I like s'mores monies.
As cool as that would have been, like, even we would have been like, okay, a little out of place.
I mean, if they could keep it secret and do it, like it would have been awesome.
If
Because if like, yeah, one of those doors goes to the
I would
MCU.
have been okay. I would have been okay.
how dope,
I would have been okay with it. It would have been fine.
but how dope would it have been if Vigilante like ran into him and was like,
I could see that.
That would have been interesting.
That
would've
would've been
like,
better.
Ooh, that would have
Yeah.
been.
Hire
Or James Gunn could have just borrowed some money from Vigilante and just threw it at Disney.
We keep bringing up the orgy scene. When
To the compots.
This shit first dropped, I watched that first episode. I was like, "Oh, orgy, cool." the next week, I took a trip to Chicago, and I'm like, "What do I want to watch on the plane?" Download some episodes, and I'm like, "Oh, the new Peacemaker," and I'm like, "There was an orgy in the last episode. Maybe I don't want to have this playing on my airplane seat."
That kid 2 seats back to your right, like, oh shit.
No, we're on a cheap ass American Airlines, so they don't have the screens in the seat. So it's your own tablet or whatever device you're using. I'm like, oh no, everyone can see this shit. There's no no directional blurring. I was like, yeah, maybe I'm not gonna watch that.
Gladys next to you is like, is he uncircumcised? Real representation.
My cousin was telling me he was watching it because he liked the first episode and he was watching with his kids. they're like older teenagers,
okay,
I think,
good.
like
I was about to
18,
say.
like around not like kids, but yeah, he said it was very, very awkward. And
In all fairness, the streaming things still do have like the TVMA,
yeah, but
I
almost-
missed the orgy closed captioning thing on the side that said beware.
not that I'm a prude at all,
Beware
but I
full
do
frontal.
feel like TV
Frontals.
like MA gets thrown on like as soon as there's nudity.
Yeah.
There's no upper limit to that. So it's kind of like it could be a boob, it could be a 20-minute orgy scene.
It could be like Gen V where like someone's coming out of someone else's asshole.
Like,
Or
hey, what you doing over there? Okay.
they might need like a TV MA like extreme or something like that.
Holy
Or like
shit.
bold it, like flash it a couple times, like, does he know?
I have noticed though that a lot of people don't recognize like those like warnings, like PG-13s and all that stuff. That it doesn't resonate with certain people.
Doesn't trigger something in their heads.
Like this is off topic too, but it's
That's what we're known for.
with the new Predator movie. With the new Predator movie coming out, it's PG-13. I
Yeah,
believe.
but
Is
it's
it-
supposed to feel
Why?
R, is what they're saying.
But this is the thing.
Makes sense though.
No.
It's
Relax.
probably because it's not real blood.
Yeah, relax. Yeah, exactly. So because it's predator like blood, like it's a creature,
Yeah.
they didn't give it the R rating because of that. Like
gonna meme the
it's
shit
not
out
like
of that.
red
Yeah.
blood. You know what I'm saying? So there's
That's the hack.
there's already like a lot of people that are like, I was gonna go watch it, but now there's pizza. I'm like, it.
Are we not going to see Predator tits and fishnet?
Guess I'll just go and fuck myself.
Speaking of that,
That was Rudy figuring out how he's got to edit that.
And we're back.
speaking of that, do you think it was? Do Do you think
For those of you that are wondering what happened, I said something horrible.
for those not familiar, Gunn is married to Jennifer Holland, who plays Amelia Harcourt. Do you think he like wrote those intentionally in some kind of like cuckolding kind of way? You know, he's like,
No.
"Sir, your chair, my cuckold chair." No, it's your director's chair.
One of those little behind the scenes things was like, he's like, I didn't want to direct that scene, but he was directing that scene, and he's like, and you know what? After we got through the initial kiss and like, because the camera angles are dynamic and shit was happening, he was like, I didn't even care. Like after a certain point, it was like, it was so technical. And she's like, it was like, John Cena's fiance, wife, whatever, girlfriend, whatever, was there too, watching the whole thing, and it was like they kissed like 80 times because you have to do 80 separate takes. It's like after like the first one was just like, it's acting, it's whatever.
Yeah,
That's what he said to the public.
Yeah, I mean it's work. It would be being like James Gunn is definitely a smaller man and a little elderly looking, and John Cena's physique of
I bet
he was directing
I bet
Passless.
Gunn's not even his last name. He's just fucking Gunn.
Oh, maybe that's it. Cena's like, oh, I'm sorry if she gets a little jealous. I'm very buff and whatever. And he's just like, nah, you're good.
Probably my favorite scene, though, bringing it back to seriousness, is Jennifer Holland, her performance in that interrogation scene when she's in Earth X, and it's her going back and forth and having like that big emotional scene. Like that thing you said, it was like shot dynamically. It wasn't just like the quick over the shoulder. Like there was a lot going on in that technically, and I mean that performance could have come across as like real two-dimensional and real clinical. But boy, oh boy, like Holland fucking did not mail it in and brought all the big guns and all the tears and emotions and this thing where it's, you're keeping yourself from crying. It was an impressive performance to be a nerd about that shit. Like,
Yeah.
it was, I mean, everyone's performance in this, to repeat it over and over, probably other than Vigilante, like he's not really ever serious in any kind of moment. But like most everyone,
But even then,
has
like, that actor's British, I think.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
I saw an interview with him, and so like, even that, whenever you like, it's like, oh, he was throwing an accent that whole time, and but even I feel like, yeah, he was not a serious actor, but I still feel like he did a damn good job with what he was doing.
Even Steve Agee as Economos did pretty good.
Fucking Economos is such the way they shit on him and the way he just like kind of acknowledged it himself.
It throws it right back too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's such an asshole. Like such a strange character, I think, to exist in these kind of shows. It's just like just a pure selfish asshole, but he's also like deep down like these are his friends and he's gonna do what he's got to do.
Very susceptible to peer pressure.
I think somebody said it's because he got hired by whatever like government agency when he was probably like 12 or 13 years old, when he was like learning hacking and stuff like that. And so there's a sort of arrested development when it comes to him, because in the first season he's correcting whatever the agent was about like Pokemon. He's like, it's there's no Pokemon, it's Pokemon. Like he is a nerd about those things. So he's kind of this forever this boy.
Mm-hmm. So you brought up him being hired by a government agency. I do appreciate that. Like, so in the MCU, not to constantly do the comparison, but we will in this case. MCU had S.H.I.E.L.D. and S.H.I.E.L.D. was awesome, and we talked about how good S.H.I.E.L.D. was for storytelling. Eventually, S.H.I.E.L.D. was infiltrated by Hydra and it fell apart, blah, blah, blah. I appreciate that so far in the DC is like, yeah, there was Argus and it sucks. It's corrupt and it's shitty. Like, and like it served its purpose story wise, and it will continue to serve its purpose. I'm sure we're gonna get another Suicide Squad, and obviously Task Force X. God, that is such
You got it, buddy.
Yeah. I think that's officially not allowed, right? And that's why they did Creature Commandos. I forget if that was the story in that cartoon or whatever.
Yeah, you couldn't use actual
Yeah.
metahumans, but use monsters.
Yeah. But this show ended with the formation of a non-government entity called Checkmate, which, is a comic book thing. I read it in like the mid 2000s. There was a series. I think they did one prior. I think there was one in like the 80s or 90s. I forget. And then there was a more modern one. It's a cool agency. It was a cool comic book. They definitely like served a role in comic books for a while. So I'm curious. That's where the Sacha Bordeaux character came from. I remember, the incels crying online because when she said she was a cyborg, people immediately thought they were replacing the Teen Titans cyborg with her. because of course that's what they do these days.
God.
But it's like, no, she's a character that's existed for a very long, long time as a cyborg with Checkmate. Yeah, so I'm really curious where they go with Checkmate, if that's going to continue to be a thing in the broader DC universe, or if they're just going to kind of continue to do like these kind of side series with it. In the comic I was reading, like Mr. Terrific was part of it, so it'd be interesting to see if the Justice Gang eventually ever breaks up and Mr. Terrific goes and joins, because we've established Mr. Terrific is in Superman, so he's in this universe already. He could go join Checkmate and stuff.
I heard somebody say that they would love Checkmate to be sort of the Nick Fury of like, the sort of glue that holds all the series and movies together. Like for instance, at the end of what was it, Shazam, you had Hardcore and Economos kind of bringing Batson along. I wouldn't mind if like they were just sort of behind the scenes. That's their little pop up thing.
It would be cool because I think for the most part in the DC comics, very few of the main heroes ever worked for the government. Very, very few. I think like Batwoman at one point was working for one, because DC has a lot. There's Argus, there's the D something. There's a few of them, and I think for a while like some of them were, but obviously Suicide Squad, like they didn't have a choice, and then the head goes boom. But so it would be cool if something like Checkmate was kind of that string through it all, and then maybe even some of them do end up working directly for Checkmate, or they pop up and kind of relay this information or whatever between them all. Like I think that'd be actually really, really cool.
Going back to Argus though, we completely like skipped over Rick Flag Sr., played by Frank Grillo.
Yeah, sorry.
And
fuck, I was waiting to try to interject that in there.
you want to take it?
Sorry, yeah, go for it.
Did anyone else have a problem with this fucking character? Like, I love Frank Grillo, and I love his acting, but the character, Senior, like he went from like an okay guy to like a shithead to then like a fucking mouthpiece for Lex.
Yeah.
Like it was just a weird turn.
Well, I think
especially because we saw him in Creature Commandos.
Right.
And he was kind of like a full-on like hero badass in Creature Commandos. Not quite a hero, but
no,
like,
I mean he slept with the princess.
yeah.
So he
That's what heroes do.
Yeah, but wasn't she throwing it at him? I have to rewatch that series.
Yeah, I will. But he has said it a couple times that his son Rick Flag Jr. was so much more of a better man than he was. So that's kind of establishing that he acknowledges his own shitbagness. So it allows him the room to maybe kind of deteriorate into a bit of a scumbag. I mean, his sole motive is one, originally to find who the fuck or what actually happened in the death of his son. By the hands of Peacemaker, and then two
Under Waller's orders.
right, but still, and then actually, avenge his son's death. There was no middle ground of anything. He wanted him gone. And he didn't give a shit about being the director to Argus.
Yeah.
I get that, but why he wanted his revenge on Peacemaker? Cool, like totally understandable. How did that transfer to metahumans and wanting to kick them all off the planet?
Luther,
Like, where did that switch flip for him?
He was in the meeting in Superman, right?
Right.
Where Luther was presenting.
He was one of the ones that told Luther to go fuck himself.
But at the very end, once the metahumans won, I think the other government person was like, well, welcome to this new world where the metahumans are making the rules now. So maybe that's sort of plants a seed of like, oh shit, like pendulum kind of swung the wrong way.
I wish it had been a little bit more obvious with it, because it didn't seem like a natural progression from one thing to the other. Like, I haven't seen some theories of like Lex Luthor is somehow mind controlling him because the switch was so abrupt.
The monies.
I don't know. I feel like
The monies
could
and the promise of power.
that. Like I feel like
Maybe it's not so complicated as I'm trying to make it seem.
no. I feel I feel like he properly portrayed his sort of getting lost in it all. Like he immediately lost his way once he was sort of pointed in the correct direction to, take out Peacemaker at whatever fucking means necessary.
Well, and Luther probably even talked to him about, this plan, this idea of like, well, people escape from Arkham all the time. People escape from Bellevue all the time. Like, we need a solution. And And he even probably saw Peacemaker as someone that got away with something. Like, here's another, not necessarily a meta, but here's another fucking caped superhero that got away with something that he shouldn't have. And so I could see, I agree, maybe they should have shown more of it, because like they went through that montage when the team was finding all these different planets, and didn't they show him like even doing coke with everybody? Like at one point people were doing coke, and I thought Rick Flag Sr. was in that.
No, it was another guy.
It was another, okay.
It kind of it threw me off for a
looked like
second because
him,
it kind
right?
of looked like him a little bit, and then I like, wait, what? No,
I was
that's
gonna
not
say,
him.
I mean, how do you expect a guy like that to keep so young and virile?
Yeah.
You seen his fucking neck vein, bro?
Because while they were doing that shit, Otis gave them all a look like, "Fuck is you doing?" And they all like,
Oh,
nothing.
yeah.
I don't think Otis has the balls to give Rick Flag Sr. a look like
That's
that.
true. But it certainly is, like, if they do another Creature Commandos and Rick Flag Sr. is in it, it's certainly going to be like, I fuck this guy, because we liked Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Anyway. But it's also like, I get it because of the motivation, because he killed his son. Like,
Which is crazy because Peacemaker killing Rick Flag Jr. is terrible. Like, that was a terrible fucking thing to see happen on screen because
yeah.
you like that character.
That is one of the reasons why my dad has not necessarily even watched Peacemaker yet, because he really liked Rick Flag in Suicide Squad, and it really bugs him that Peacemaker killed him.
I think what they probably
Him hurt.
What a
Yeah.
joke.
what they possibly could have done is for sure maybe show a little bit more of a gradual thing that makes sense where he's turning into more of an asshole. Maybe there could have been some sort of flashback or some establishing how much he loved his son. You didn't really get to see them interact
Playing catch and
together.
shit.
I mean, I know I don't know how, but
Yeah.
just something where he admires his son that much more. Where it's like, I will, scorn the earth for you.
Yeah, I agree. That could have worked. I think Superman established how much Luthor understood social media. You could have even, to answer your question about how Rick Flag got to that point, they could have shown him like scrolling through some fucking shitpost, talking about metahumans, talking about a need to have like a final solution if we
I
want to
see.
lean into the Earth X motif here. But I feel like they could have done something like that. And then they could have revealed that it was still like Luthor's guys like posting that shit, or he still had some monkeys somewhere in a parallel universe posting shit, which would be, because it'd be very modern. And like, I'm still impressed with Superman, even like touching on that idea of like bots, but instead of bots, they were monkeys, like controlling that narrative towards Superman. And it's not like Lex Luthor would stop that, or even his followers would stop that. So it would have been kind of interesting to see. And maybe even like, I don't know, kind of warning to our real world that the idea that people in power could still be manipulated by social media posts. They're eating the dogs.
I think they were maybe not with this series, but yeah, I mean they were pretty on the nose about that with Superman, and then in this one though they were really heavy on the nose when Adebayo is having a conversation with Peacemaker's dad. I forget his character's name, Augie, whatever.
Yeah. Smith.
And she's calling him a Nazi and blah blah blah, and he's like, "Is your world better?"
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, that's a current political
Yeah,
societal hit.
It was a giant thumb up thing. So it was like, oh, I'm sorry if your world was perfect. I apologize.
Wait, thumb up the end. Is this a good thing?
Shocker.
Oh, but speaking of Miss Adebayo,
What did that trigger?
no, but when her and her girlfriend, when they had the argument, when you found out like why, like why things happened between them, and her girl was like, "Oh, we were supposed to go to Gotham." I was like, "You don't want to go to Gotham."
That did rub me wrong. I'm like, why would you want to go back
Oh,
there?
Gotham's probably got some sick like underground music scene. I'm just saying.
All the speakeasy.
I don't know what city they were established to be in Peacemaker, but
I was like, she's saving your life by saying, "You know what? I want to stay here and follow my dreams."
Oh.
What, they were in Greenfield or
Evergreen or Greenwood,
Oh,
some shit
yeah.
like that. Yeah, but it's a fictional city.
yeah.
I read that somewhere.
But
Gotham would absolutely have some cool shit. That's where like the art like cool art would happen.
But does that sort of her wanting to go back so badly to Gotham, does that hint at like maybe what stage Batman is in as far as like taking care of Gotham?
I don't think so. That's just more of a name drop than
Yeah.
anything else.
Nope, I'm reading into it.
Nah, go ahead. I'll start calling you Rachel.
Well, I mean, we do know that this DCU is going to have a Batman with Damian, so he's been doing it for a while.
Right.
We know Nightwing,
You see?
Red Hood.
We'll see.
Tim Drake hasn't been mentioned, but I can't imagine them like retconning Tim Drake out of this. So like Batman's doing it for a while. He's got a whole Bat family. So Gotham might be maybe a little bit more protected or more crazy, right? As they established, many times, like the whole idea of like the escalation. You wear a mask and they wear a mask. That was showing the Joker card at the end of Dark Knight.
Speaking of
or
that,
Batman Begins.
dude, the slam on Jared Leto's Joker. I think it was the end of the first or second episode. It was an extended. In the trailer, they've had like the extended sort of like run on bits or whatever, and it's Peacemaker and Harcourt. They're like talking about 30 Seconds to Mars.
Oh yeah.
Like it's. I mean, fuck. The band I was in for 3 seconds was way better than 30 Seconds to Mars. I mean, is that even a band? I'm like, ooh, because the singer of 30 Seconds to Mars is Jared Leto, who played the Joker in the David Ayer, Zack Snyder thing. In case you didn't know. Oh, I know. The more
forget.
you know.
I forget.
There you go. I educated you.
Anyway, Rick Flag Sr. and the ending were my only real. Not problems, but like.
So okay,
It just rubbed me.
so
edgewise
because
and
I
lengthwise.
watch so many other shows, like this ending didn't bother me too much, but it's one of those like where he's in the other dimension, and you hear things going on in the background. You hear, like creatures or whatever, then it's like one of those things where it kind of like cuts or whatnot. I've watched so many shows, like especially that one show, From.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where they have endings like that, or like the 100. Like it's not like an epic thing, but
Massive ass cliffhanger.
Some spaceship just comes out of the comes out of the atmosphere, and you're sitting there. And it fades to black, and you see credits. You're like, now I gotta wait till like next season to find out, like like a glimpse of just like what is on this ship, and like like what is this thing gonna do to the chaos that's already happening in this show that I'm watching. So that didn't bother me too much, but it's one of those things like where, for me, like it's just one of those where I'm like. Because there's no like season 3 that I'm hearing.
Yeah,
so
I didn't know that. So a lot of people more upset now.
it's just more so that
this
I'm like,
storyline better fucking continue in something else.
How you gonna leave me like that?
I am sure it's just a play on word, like it's a word play where it's like I have no plans for a Peacemaker season 3. Like
Then they switch up the name of it.
they're gonna do Checkmate or something like that.
Yeah, they'll do
Fucking better.
Through some of my research, that story arc of that prison planet.
Yeah, so
Or
we
prison
haven't
dimension.
specifically said it yet. So part of the ending was this idea that Luthor convinced Flag to start checking out all these doors within John's Peacemaker's.
Yeah, the 99 doors.
Yeah, and Peacemaker's little quantum or like parallel universe
What's it called
closet.
again?
Quantum unfolding.
QUC?
Yeah.
Quantum unfolding chamber.
Yep.
He's got it.
And so and there was a fun little montage of them going to these different scenes. There was like a zombie world. There was a world with the little fucking gremlins, which just
Yeah, they're the imps.
the little imp that tearing them apart. And like,
They're getting a lot of fucking mileage out of the imps in this universe too.
Yeah, they are.
yeah.
They even mentioned Batmite in the last season.
That's right. That's right.
And you got the spiders with like the skull.
Oh yeah.
Found my new tattoo
God.
idea. Got a whole ass cheek that can go on.
I think I saw like that screenshot somewhere at some point. I was like, what the like early on. I don't know if it was leaked or like someone was just putting out concept art from this season. I was like, what the fuck is this? So eventually, we learn that the reason they're looking for anything is they're trying to find a habitable planet. The first thought, and I think they talked about it in the show, is like, oh, this is where, we're going to repopulate, or the rich people are all going to move to this fucking planet or whatever. No, they're setting up a prison planet where they can drop off metahumans because they always escape from Arkham and everything else like that. The planet is called Salvation, which is a reference to a comic book that you were bringing up from like 1997-ish or something like that, called Salvation Run, where they literally dropped off It wouldn't have been 97. It would have been like 2007.
Is one of Darkseid's henchmen running that planet, that dimension?
That was the storyline because I saw the same video you saw.
Screen Crush.
So they find this world. They drop off all the villains.
Yeah, Lex, Joker, fucking Captain Cold from Flash, and like the usual crowd.
But it's not just a random uninhabited planet. It's a planet with like creatures and stuff that's run by one of Darkseid's henchmen. I think it's Desaad. I forget which one specifically, but he was using it as like a testing planet for parademons. So it's set up to be like a brutal world, and then all hell breaks loose.
Ooh, so the Predator could be. No, I'm kidding.
Nice.
It's the weird link up that we
So
got.
like there's all kinds
Crossover.
of like Easter eggs and shit he's pulling from that can lead in so many different directions.
Yeah, and again, it sucks because we don't like unless they start ramping up production. Like who knows? Who knows if we'll see it? But there's potential with Salvation. You know, as more movies come out, and like as I've said many times on this show, one of my complaints with the MCU is they always kill off their villains. So far, DC hasn't done it. They've only had 3 episodes to do, like, or 3, 3 stories or 3 shows and movies. But if they continue to like not kill people off, there's this idea that they can introduce them into Salvation where they run into Peacemaker or what, and they could do a story there. Or they don't even necessarily need to show everyone. They could always just in a couple years do a Salvation show with Peacemaker and whoever else has been dumped off, in that planet. Or they're going to completely ignore it, and the next season of Checkmate is going to go save him.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It would be absurd if Checkmate didn't, all the 11th Street kids didn't band together to look for him because he just disappeared. After all this great coming together and forming a whole new fucking intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Company.
therefore, I believe since Vigilante's his best friend, he's not going to allow that to happen.
Yeah.
He's going to go on a quest, a fellowship.
Vigilante Quest.
The spin-off
with the
we
Prime
weren't
Eagle.
asking for.
Yeah. So, I can say I'm still excited about the DCU. I'm excited for what's coming.
Oh yeah, like this. Even though you guys have said it before, where it's like the last episode maybe felt a little bit lackluster, or didn't feel like that huge epic that we're all usually expecting.
There was the concert with Foxy Shazam.
I heard people describe the last episode as a giant fucking music video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that, but I still wouldn't say it's like horrible.
No, and it wasn't bad. It was just like, oh, so we're not getting the big whatever fight resolution, or at least a big villain dropping in and be like, oh, this is what's happening in the future. They're building story and they're building characters and all that.
That's
shit.
exactly
Which I'm absolutely fine with. I just had my fucking taste buds set for that. And they weren't even set by me. They were set by the world and all their expectations. And I'm running into all that online with people going, oh, they didn't get the big payoff. I'm like, okay. I mean,
what would it? I guess the payoff could have been like storming Argus.
But yeah.
Right? It could have been like a raid style.
but we did get a payoff with the characters. And
Yeah.
the real the real point was all the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
Like that was the real journey.
Yeah. Comic book movies don't always have to be about
Yes,
the
and I-
giant set piece ending.
And I think,
I
again-
actually had to like shift all of my expectations because I was set on that.
And so I think Gunn's doing a good job of doing that. Like, hey, this is what it can be. It's not all that other, sugary shit that like gives you that boost, and then it's
Someone
not
doing this while colors happen behind him.
And
Motherfucker.
I'm paraphrasing somebody on screen. I'm paraphrasing somebody on Screen Crush, but they're like, look, we're not giving you the sugary boost of a cameo, and they connected, they did that one thing. There is nutrition. Sometimes nutrition isn't exactly the most tastiest thing that we're getting, and we're so fucking used to that.
And I sit corrected.
Yeah. All right, then. Well, let's end the episode.
I do believe because we're getting
It takes a strong man.
good story,
Strong chair.
but it's such a buildup that in the future we're gonna look back and be like, those were the little crumbs that he was giving us. Like it'll pay off. I hope.
And I think I want to give Gunn the credit that I don't think he's like J.J. Abrams or Who's the other guy that did Lost, where they're just figuring it out as they're
I'm
going
sorry,
along
what?
the way.
I haven't watched Lost, but we're figuring out stuff.
Figuring it out.
I have to put that
Figuring
on
it all out,
my
yeah.
watch list.
Figuring it out.
Oh, figuring.
I'm tired.
Okay, never mind.
Along the way, so he's planning everything from the little Easter eggs to the crumbs to whatever. Like it all means something, and it all supposed to make sense in the end. I should hope so.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, because when he started all this, he was like, "Oh, we got this first chapter, Gods and Monsters," and
That's right. Yeah.
he had some stuff has already been canceled or moved around or whatever. But I think he still just generally has an idea in mind.
I'm excited for it in a way that is, again, not to compare all the time to MCU, but in a way that is vastly different from MCU.
Yeah.
It may not be the big, delicious, like sugary thing, but I'm like, I have been well fed so far. Maybe it wasn't completely full with like Superman, but I like what I tasted.
Nice.
And I'm ready for the rest of it.
Heck yeah.
And then we'll have to wait. Because
Right
it's
on.
going to take some time because it's not going to be the quick fast food thing.
With excitement on mine.
I hate it here.
What are we hyped about? Anybody? Jump on in. We're the hype attack.
Going once.
We're the hype attack. Attack this hype.
You
Attack
guys
it.
go,
Do
because me
it.
and Doug are going to talk about Good Boy.
No, I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah, we are.
was
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
New York Comic Con happened last week.
Oh yeah, I got to fucking. I didn't have a chance to sit down and like get all of these things online so I could talk about them. So I apologize.
I do feel like New York Comic Con had more actual comic book announcements coming out of it than San Diego Comic Con. And I have decided one day when I get out of credit card debt and I have some money, it would be fun to plan a New York trip around New York Comic Con,
That's on my bucket list.
especially if this is going to be the trend that happens. If San Diego Comic Con is going to continue to just be 80% Abbott
Yeah.
Elementary, and we can go to New York Comic Con and actually get some comic book news.
Abbott Elementary did that crossover with Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm excited to see what they're going to do next.
Yeah, sure.
So fuck you.
Unless it's Batman or something, I don't fucking care. So that said, some of the announcements, similar. I didn't look through the whole list, but I did see a few things like Marvel doing a Fantastic Four and Gargoyles comic book, which is super cool. And then DC announced a couple things. There's a comic book called "There's Something Killing the Children," which I really like that
remember
comic
you
book. There's
mentioned
been a few spinoffs, and I think they are working on a series. They announced a crossover with DC to do Swamp Thing is Killing the Children. It's kind of fun. I like Swamp Thing. I like when he gets a little spotlight here and there. And then DC is also, they're currently setting up a big storyline called DC KO, which is like this big bracketed brawl between different characters. I haven't looked into it that much, but they announced like a bunch of crossovers with, Warner Brothers owned properties. Maybe not all of Warner Brothers owned properties. Anyway, they announced a crossover where apparently like some of the DC characters are going to go like train with these other characters. So some of the characters they announced was like Annabelle, the doll, Homelander. So of course everyone's excited the idea of Superman versus Homelander at some point. Homelander from The Boys. Sub-Zero was mentioned as someone they're going to train with. Red Sonja, Vampirella. Yeah, so it's like a pretty fun list of like these characters that maybe Homelander's obviously having his big moment right now, but some of these other characters maybe haven't really had a spotlight in a while. Now that they're going to cross over with DC, like, cool, neat. I'm hyped.
Didn't I see something where the Absolute Universe is crossing over with the regular DC universe?
I think that's probably been. I don't know if I saw like an official announcement for that, but everyone's been waiting for that.
I keep seeing something pop up for that.
That'll be interesting.
Do you have anything else?
I played a new typing battle royale or a demo for it last night. I saw the video and then I saw the demo. It's part of Steam's Next Fest, which is going on right now. It'll probably be over by the time this airs. There's a game called Final Sentence. I never played any of these typing games. I'm not a big fan of battle royales, but it's a typing battle royale where the setting is like this dark, dingy room, and you have a man in a black trench coat and a scary mask standing next to you, and you have an old typewriter, and it tells you what to type, and you type. And if you mess up, once you mess up the third time, it's Russian roulette. The guy shoots you with a gun. But there's only one bullet in it, and the more you mess up, they add more bullets to it, and you die. And then other people start dying. And then once you finish, and I've won a couple times, you just see everyone else just get shot by these men because everyone's sitting on a desk. It's like 30 players and there's voice chats, and you can hear people like, oh, fuck me. Like, I was yelling it last night. I don't know if you guys heard me in your room, like typing. It's like, I'm winning. Fuck. And you see the guy fucking pull out his gun, and it's roulette. So you're not always going to die, but it's very intense. I never thought I'd be like that feeling playing a typing game. But honestly, like if you want to learn how to type, like what better way than a gun at your fucking head? Wow. And it's not always like letter. Like sometimes it was like twinkle twinkle little stars. Like okay, like if it's words, I could. But then sometimes it was just like QWE, 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 QEW, and it's like oh fuck. You can see the guy cocking his gun. It's like oh shit, fuck. Yeah, the music is just that build up like. It's like oh fuck. Yeah, really cool. Anyway, I won't talk about any of the other games I played because it's super cool.
Real quick, got a rundown of the New York Comic Con things. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Oh, yep.
The new Game of Thrones.
No
spin-off.
dragons, no magic. So just shitty medieval.
And incest.
Yeah, 100 years before I think Game of
with.
Thrones.
I'm fine with.
Yeah.
What are you in Oklahoma?
No, I meant the no dragons shit.
Save some money. Yeah. Hopefully they can do like more than 6 episodes every 3 years.
Marvel's Wonder Man got a miniseries, got a teaser, which I have absolutely no idea what the hell that is about. So
meta.
Cool. We'll fucking see with that. Invincible season 4 got its release date and they have the little trailer for it. I watched that.
I hadn't seen it.
I remember watching that and going, why is all this shit dropping? Oh, fucking New York Comic Con is going on right now. Mm-hmm. Mercy Chan, no one cares about that. Has anyone watched any of the Interview with the Vampire or any of the other stuff that I watched the first episode like a couple week ago, and I'm like, shit, now I have to watch the rest of this series. But they're bringing like the rest of Anne Rice's works to the screen. The Vampire Lestat, which is I think the next book in that series after Interview with the Vampire is getting its own series.
That's cool. Anne Rice, she had like a pretty big presence at San Diego Comic Con. Like right outside of the con, there was always like that one building. At least the last couple of years, that was always just like the next thing from her universe. And I was like, do I care? I don't know.
I've read most of those books. I think they're pretty good. Like the books are pretty good. The original Interview with the Vampire with Cruz
and Pitt
was kind of okay, sure.
And Kirsten Dunst.
And then it went like to who was it? I forget, but like Queen of the Damned was another book in that series with Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, yeah.
I've read those books. I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool, but like you saw the budget up here with Interview with the Vampire, and then you saw the budget down here with Queen of the Damned. I'm like, oh, okay. So we're not doing any of these justice anymore. All right, cool. So hopefully the series will
budgets make a difference.
The series will flesh that out a little bit more, and I'm looking forward to those now that I have to watch those. They also got release dates for X-Men 97 and Daredevil Born Again, and
that's right.
They did release teaser trailers, I think, at Comic-Con. Like I saw shaky cam of a couple of those, and I'm like, oh, like X-Men 97 especially. It's like, ooh,
yeah, those are release dates.
Yeah, I don't want to watch
that. No, I don't have them. I'm sorry.
Blue balled. I think they also confirmed Jessica Jones is going to reappear, right?
She popped up in the Daredevil
noise
trailer. Season 2, the animated web stinger. Oh, Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Fall 2026. X-Men 97 renewed for
that
third
movie
season.
Doesn't kill Holland.
No. I think he's talking about the Friendly
in
Neighborhood Spider-Man
in summer 2026. Yeah.
Ooh.
The series.
I haven't figured series.
They got another season. Summer 2026 for X-Men 97.
Nice.
And March 2026 for Daredevil Born Again season 2.
Oh, really?
Next year is looking for, like we're gonna have a lot of topics to talk about. Next year is
fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And there was a trailer drop or a first look for Star Trek Strange New World season 4.
Nice. They're gonna do a Muppet episode this season.
I didn't watch.
Really? Jim Henson's Muppet team. Yep.
And that's everything on this particular website.
Heck yeah. Right on.
Jermaine?
Oh no, I've just been focused on the Dodgers lately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We occasionally talk about sports.
Sports is nerd.
It's nerdy if you like doing stats and all that other bullshit. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of meatheads hitting balls with bats or flinging pigskin down.
You got anything?
100-yard fields.
Slapping asses.
Yeah.
Not this week.
I'll watch. A couple things. So, Prey, the I guess the prequel, right, to Predators. Predator is getting the theatrical release it deserves as part of a double feature, along with the new Predator Badlands on November 5th, which will be a few days before Badlands wide release on November 7th. I don't know if I'll watch the double feature.
I would, but I think we'll be in Joshua Tree.
But
Oh fuck! Is it the same weekend?
I don't. Hold on. Everyone continue
Look
to
what you
groan.
did, Isaac.
Continue to groan.
but
I hate it here.
Prey was, we've talked about it a couple times before. It's
we'll
really
be in
good.
Joshua Tree 5th to the 9th.
Prey was like straight to streaming because I think it was like during the pandemic, and yeah, I think it's super awesome. It's getting
Prey didn't get any kind of theatrical release. Like,
No.
not even a
I was trying to
limited run?
remember too, but yeah, I don't think it did.
no,
Which is a
it
shame.
was during the pandemic, right? Like towards the end of it.
I remember
22
I remember
probably?
streaming it, but I just thought out, Rudy being Rudy, lazy. I don't
Yeah.
want to get up and go anywhere. Like, oh, it's on TV. Put it on the TV.
This is on Hulu, right?
I believe so.
Was it Hulu? I said Amazon, didn't I? Yeah,
It was
my
Hulu,
bad.
yeah.
You know, I have Amazon on my mind because I'm caught up with Gen V.
Oh, I need to
So good with twists and turns I didn't expect at all. So when there are those certain reveals, I'm like,
Yeah, like
Loving
I'm
it.
caught up this week to week. Week to week. Like I watched maybe like the first 4 episodes. I let it
Marinate.
yeah, I forgot that, and I was like, oh, next. I gotta wait.
Nope. I was like the
I
same.
love the
way.
excitement of waiting.
It's really good. I'm really stoked for that. I haven't like checked out any like breakdowns and stuff, but
I don't like the excitement of waiting. I started watching that
Mr. Blue Balls.
Chad Powers on
Oh.
Hulu. Just, a dumb thing. I was like, oh, this is kind of funny.
What is that?
The guy who...
Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a football player, a disgraced football player who tries to get back into it by disguising himself
Okay.
with like prosthetics and he looks like a bumpkin or whatever.
I want to say
But I watched the first couple episodes and then I'm like, cool, next episode. And it was like, it's something else coming on. I'm like, there's only 2 fucking episodes out? And I'm done. I'm not going to watch it.
I want to say someone told me
How dare
that.
they?
So it's produced by the Manning brothers.
Yeah.
And I think one of them actually did something like that. Like put on prosthetics and like tried out for some team just as a joke or something like that. So I think that's what gave them the idea to actually make this thing.
I remember now.
Yes.
I did finish the Ed Gein series. The
Oh,
Monster series.
yeah. I'm like,
I've been told I should watch
fourth,
that.
fifth episode. It is
Like
getting
I did
better.
finish that series.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 2 movies I've seen, Tron. I saw Tron. What the hell is it called again?
Ares.
I know people do hate on Jared Leto, like he has this fucking cult following. He's okay. He's okay in it. The writing's not strong in the movie.
It's a cult negative following, right?
What do you mean?
Like I don't know if I've ever seen anyone actively say they're a fan of him. I see a constant hate for him.
yeah, I think
I like Jared Leto.
he's okay.
Yeah, I don't think he's never pissed me off.
No, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like
But
the cult is the hatred towards him, right? 'Cause-
I haven't seen
Morbius.
Morbius.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Somehow, look up. Can you look up the box numbers to Morbius and
Somehow, Jared Leto returned.
Morbius did like a couple $1 million better. What was the opening weekend for?
They
Tron?
released it 3 times.
Morbius.
Yeah.
It was like okay,
Wasn't
I
there
guess
like
a
the
short-
meme release?
But
like
here's
somehow convinced Sony to release it again.
I think it was $63 million for Tron.
Yeah.
Morbius grossed approximately 167 million worldwide against a 75 million dollar budget. And in international, it did a lot more.
And Tron was like 163.
The
Way too
Tron
fast.
trailers did nothing for me.
So, like, I feel people
Visually.
right. There's always like these hit and misses. The writing isn't strong. I don't know much about. I've never seen the original Tron. I liked Tron Legacy, like it was a fun movie. And same thing for Ares, where obviously 9 Inch Nails did the soundtrack, and it is badass.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. Yeah.
a little bit loud, even for me. A little
You
bit
see
much.
in IMAX or Dolby?
IMAX.
Nah, IMAX is fucking loud.
Wait, did we see it in IMAX? Fuck, I
I'd
gotta check.
I'd go
But-
to Dolby for that.
But let's just say you like forget about the story. The story wasn't terrible. It just wasn't strong. The acting was okay. The characters were fine enough. And you did have like your comic relief who wasn't like overly used like the new Falcon in the Brave New World or whatever, where it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. But what makes
fucking catching
but-
strays over there.
But what makes up for it is that the visuals were fucking amazing. It is such a fun movie to watch. It is a popcorn movie, so don't go into it for any kind of cinematic storytelling. It's I don't know if you want to put it up there with like Fast and Furious or whatever, but it is a popcorn movie. You're going in, you're checking everything out the door, and sure they build
masterpieces that are Fast and Furious.
They build on some of the lore. There's some actors that maybe are kind of wasted, like was it Gillian Anderson? Evan Peters was okay in his role, but overall, like it was such a spectacle to watch. It was like you heard a lot of buzz. Like I went in going, I heard it sucked. Here we go. And then when it didn't, I go, dude, remember that scene and that scene where the explosion and the this, that, and the end and how this world is. And when they went into the 80s world, like it's just a ton of fucking fun.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah,
I like
enjoyed it.
I never watched Legacy. I remember enjoying the first Tron, but that was a long time ago. I don't remember anything about it.
I love the aesthetic, by the way.
Oh,
of
yeah.
that Tron world. It's super cool.
Cyberpunk-ish and 9 Inch Nails. Like it's got the makings for me to at least enjoy what my eyeballs and ear holes are seeing. Hearing.
Seeing, people might be like, well, I'll just wait for it to stream. It's like, no, these are one of those rare movies that you do need to experience in the theaters for full fucking visual and auditory effect.
For sure.
So because you watched Tron Legacy, right? And then the way that it ended, is it like a direct continuation of that? Because I remember
chronologically, yes, but they don't pick up from Flynn's son. Like he is mentioned toward the end. Spoiler alert: there's a mention, but there's no cameo or anything like that. The focus is on Ares, Jared Leto's character, and whatever other CEOs of the original companies, whatever the rival companies were. There's now the newer blood or whatever. So I mean. Chronologically, it's a direct thing, but like a lot of that. What was it since the second Tron? Whatever, like 15 years, 10 years, something like that.
I think someone made the joke about like every 20 years they release a Tron movie.
That's
Is anyone asking for this? I don't know.
Yeah. Which Disney said they're not making any more Trons, which kind of sucks. I mean, because of every other fucking movie that anything else and everything else is making, I'm like, I'm down to see what big musicians are going to do the soundtrack and
it's just
fun
more so one of those things.
Visual
like,
stuff.
It's suffering because one right now, not a lot of people are going to the movies. Like to the theaters. Them butts in the seats. But it's like
such a callback.
That aspect of like, yes, like who is really asking for this, and the fact that it took so long to have like a follow up. Like it's just one of those things. Like I feel like the audience is like, if you were a fan of the original, I would use like the Matrix as like a parallel to this, right? So like if you were a fan of the original Matrix and then you watch like the last two, what was it? Revelations.
Wasn't it Reloaded? No.
Reloaded, and it was another
Revolutions. Was it Revolutions?
Or was Revelations the last one? Was Revelation the last one? But anyways, so if you like the first Matrix and then you watch like the second two, you kind of got like they were solid movies.
Yeah.
The last two.
You popped in my head after watching this.
That's the last
It didn't compare to the first one. So granted, I'm not saying that Tron was like the greatest movie, but for its time, it was like a Star Wars too. Like it was one of those mind blowing movies where you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. Then you get Tron Legacy, which was kind of divided, and it's almost like the last Matrix movie. Like, did we really need that movie? So it's one of those things. Like I feel like Disney has just been going through like their thing. What can we put out to generate money? Like, I don't feel like necessarily like the heart was in it. Like they were just like, yeah, let's just make a movie.
And that lack of heart, like I said, was in the like, I wouldn't say weak storyline, but it's like there's a story. Let that be the blueprint to have again a spectacle.
For me, not to spend too much time on this, but going back to the idea that the release was 15, like it was a long time ago. The trailer was totally just whole idea of like, hey, you like Tron? Like now it's Tron in the real world. And it's like, I don't even remember Tron. Like, and like the audience that would go see it, 15-year-old boys, like they don't remember Tron. Like, and so like just the fact that the trailer was like, or like, and the marketing around it was a little bit leaning towards that, like we're bringing the Tron world into this world. It's like I don't know what that is. I don't care.
And that's what I'm trying to say is like, again, I'm not seeing the first Tron, and I don't know where this thing would go. I don't know if there's ever been spin-offs or series or whatever. So it's like, I don't know where this story would go, and I kind of don't care that it's like, okay, then it goes to the real world. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
RT score, critics 53%, audience 86%.
Yeah, cool.
Because it's fun.
No,
Hey,
see,
I want to go see it.
Me too.
I will watch it. Yes, but when it comes to streaming,
Begrudgingly.
See, that's
We got the big screen here. We got some
That's
audio.
true.
We can
'Cause I'm not-
put some headphones on.
it just didn't grab me because after the second one, like it was a lot of like, also they said at the time, we might be done with Tron, like we're probably
Yeah.
not going to do anything. And then here comes Ares, and I'm like,
without a doubt, though, I can see you walking out in the theater and going, yeah, that was a solid movie.
yeah, like, well, I'm not saying that it's,
But he like trapped, right?
Yeah, I was biting my tongue this entire conversation.
but it's one of those. First of all, you guys voted for.
No.
Here we go. We're
But,
slings and arrows. All
I
right,
want
come
to
on.
talk about Good Boy.
But it's just one of those movies, like you said, I do have my popcorn movies, and watching the trailer for this, I was like, no, I'm not gonna go watch that, but I will watch it on streaming, and it's one of those where I'm just gonna sit there, unplug, and just enjoy like
absolutely.
the special effects.
Absolutely.
Like that's what it is to me. So I'm like,
And
All
the,
right.
the trailers is also one of those things where it's like,
Yeah.
he revealed all the shit. In it.
Hold on, before you move on to the next movie, The Matrix Reloaded, The Matrix Revolutions,
Yeah.
and then Matrix Resurrection was the
Resurrection.
all the R's,
the,
all the R's,
the R's, the triple R's.
Any of them hard?
Triple R.
Tron did 33.5 million opening, 60 million global in its opening week or whatever,
Okay.
or currently, against the 400 million the last Tron did.
Whoa. Okay.
But I don't
can
know if
see-
they did all that, and
I still think-
Yeah,
its whole run. So
yeah.
you
they're
think
looking at
I don't
those
think it's gonna
numbers.
fucking hit 400.
I think
Especially
we've talked a
nowadays.
little bit about the show. Like I think the algorithm is probably hurting the movie industry more than anything, because I constantly talk to people and I'll be like, oh, the new Tron. There's a new Tron. Like if like Hollywood needs to figure out a way to expand their algorithm to just generally advertise.
Dude.
Because if you're not in the nerd realm like we are with our Instagram, and if you're not watching regular TV, like there are many people that just do not know this stuff is coming out.
Well, case in point, Black Phone 2 is coming out this weekend. Black Phone 1 was amazing. I'm hearing good things about 2, and I'm like, I'm only because I hear some other people, but I don't see advertisements and shit popped up, you know? It's a bummer.
Sorry, it's amazing that while we're picking up sports and watching all that shit, the ads that I see now, I'm like, oh, that's a thing. Oh, that's coming out. Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Like, where the fuck is all this in my feed? I'm like, need to expand my shit.
Yeah, it's just wild. Anyway, go ahead.
Sorry.
So, and just in a quick discussion, because you said you saw Good Boy, and I do want to get your take on it. Good Boy is low budget thriller
Yeah, totally independent horror movie.
that is in the POV of a dog, which is a totally new experience, and there's obviously all the challenges that go along with it, and the making of it is very fascinating, and I enjoyed it. The story, it's low budget, it's indie, so like, in that lower tier, it was really good. If this was like a higher budget movie, I would say it's a shit movie, it's a whatever movie, but from what I was like, how are they going to do this with the fucking dog? And I think they did a great job with whether it be B-roll or intercutting, and even though the multiple angles, I'm like, you guys had to get those different angles to make it feel like a cinematic thing, is extremely impressive, and like, it got the job done. It was a cute movie. Did drag in multiple parts. It dragged a lot because you are POV of a dog. Yeah.
I was waiting for you to.
I just saw your hand up, and yeah. No, I will go on a forever rant.
Okay, I'm sorry. Was the entire movie from the dog's POV, or was it like?
Well, it's not
one of those
POV.
things- Yeah. Okay.
It's not
I'm
POV
sorry,
at
yeah,
all.
yeah. Never mind.
It's just from the perspective
I'm sorry.
of the dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, so to cut you off because you are going to
No,
go
go
on forever. So you're right. It does.
I have no
I
landing.
just have to pee, so I want to.
No,
I want to
same,
get out.
same.
So it does drag a little bit. I found my mind wandering, especially because there was a dog. Like all the dialogue was kind of background dialogue. So like, there wasn't a lot going on in the scene. In some of the scenes, like they held for too long, probably because the dog wasn't cooperating. And I think they even kind of showed that at the end of this, watching in the theater, at least there is some behind the scenes stuff after the credits, which was a really cool thing to see. But also having the dog like added so much to it. Like when the dog looks around and sees like a shadow and the dog's kind of still looking at it and like sniffing and stuff. If you did that scene with a person, it would be like, oh, is that a fucking shadow?
Yeah.
Like, it would be so much more to it. But just the fact that it's a dog going,
And they even said like his face just happens to be naturally expressive. But yeah, those things where you're holding for suspense. Also, like if you are a dog lover, you're not going to get scared in this movie. You're not going to be like, ooh. Every time he did something, I'm like, he's such a good indie. He's good indie. Good job.
I think scare wise, there was one that was supposed to be a jump scare and it didn't get me when the eyeball. Yeah. And then there was, I think, a jump scare towards the end that made me a little like, whoa, just a little. But for the most, like, there was some creepiness to it. I think if you're not paying attention, there's going to be a lot of things that you miss. There was a lot of like shadows and eyes. I think they like it kind of leaned into a little bit of like, is this going on, or is this dog like dreaming? Like, is this a very imaginative dog?
Yeah.
It ended up being a cool story. I think it wrapped up really strongly, which is, as we've talked about, it's something that I really like about a good horror movie. Should have a strong ending, and I think it had a strong ending. I think super impressive. It took 3 years to make because they didn't want to overwork the dog. And
The dog's not a professional dog. Like he's not an actor dog. He just, it's like if you know Allie and if you say ball, she's gonna look over here. That's it. It's not like jump, stand, act, speak, nothing like that. So they would spend like hours and hours just to get like a few seconds for one shot.
Yeah,
That's
I love,
fucking crazy.
and they even showed the contrast of like the scary scene where the dog's looking and like this thing's coming at the window, and then the behind the scenes of them going like, and the dog's just like,
It's enjoyable.
But what was the name of the? I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
I should have looked it up. Go ahead. No, I'm gonna look it up while you talk.
You fucked my shit up with he wasn't a professional dog. He's only a dog on the weekends. Like I don't fucking understand.
Checks out.
He's a lawyer on the weekends.
He's not one of those professional trained dogs where you can be like jump and then he'll jump or like.
Oh no, I understood. I just
gotta join
the
the
way he said it was like
He's not in the union.
it played with my mind.
This is, but this
Getting up
is
from his week of being a regular.
The Kuselshov effect. KULESHOV. They talked about it.
inserting.
The idea. So what that was is there was an old director, cinematographer, whatever, movie maker that was showing off the idea that you can have if you have a shot of someone with a neutral face and then you go to another shot
of like food.
It changes. Well, it changes the people's perspective of what that shot was.
Yeah.
So the original test was like one audience was shown dude with a neutral face and then goes to like a bowl of soup and everyone's like, oh, the dude's hungry. The next set was shown dude with a neutral face, same scene, cut to a dead kid in a coffin. Oh, he's sad. And then there was a third one. They didn't show this in the movie, but I looked it up. There was a third one where it was like dude, and then it was like a sexy girl on the thing. Like, oh, he's excited. He wants to get some. So they were saying how like that's the effect that they were able to use with this dog in Good Boy, because the dog does have such a serious face all the time that because you show that immediately after showing something spooky, the audience is going to go like, dog's scared. In reality, dog's just staring at the owners doing this.
Clever.
But yeah, it was really cool.
I can
Very
imagine
clever.
the storyboard for that thing. But I was going to say that this is one of those movies, though, you don't have to rush to the theaters to go see it. If it is streaming on Shudder,
It'll probably eventually be on Shudder.
Yeah, I mean, you might be distracted because it's slow. But I think it's it's an hour 13, and it dragged a little. For an hour 13.
If I want to see a dog scared of its own fucking shadow, I got one in the other room.
At 89% critic score, and audience liked it at 83%. So it's a decent film all around. Anything else? Any last hypey things?
Not that anything.
Will forever held.
I'm hyped about getting this urine out of my body.
All right, to wrap it up, thank you guys for watching. Or if you aren't watching, go to youtube.com/The Hype Attack Podcast. Follow us on social media at The Hype Attack on Instagram and TikTok. And, as Doug said,
If you didn't catch any of that, you can go to thehypeattack.com and once you're there and you click on the links and you go through all the things, please keep the conversation going. Tell us what you thought about Peacemaker.
and support us, why don't you, on Venmo at The Hype Attack. We appreciate it. We love you. We mean it. Till next time, same hype time,
Same hype
hype
channel.
Hype attack.